Ah, Halo Infinite. Yes, that's right. It's Halo Infinite. Well, except this is the playtest. And here are my first impressions. Alright, so let's start off this. Let's start off with the gunplay, or gameplay, and then we'll go into maps, and then we'll go straight into what I think needs a topic of its own: performance. Gunplay I think is really solid, from the battle rifle to the commando to the pistols. They feel really solid. They have a really Halo-y vibe, and they're really grounded. It's very true to the core. And when you pick up guns like the skewer and the rocket launcher, you really feel like you're picking up something that has power from the time you shoot it to the time you reload it to the time you even pick it up, for that matter. And I think overall, the game, from gameplay standpoint, is pretty solid. One thing I'd have to say though is I don't really understand how the sliding mechanic works. I know it's there, but from my playtest on day one, I didn't really know how to use it, and so for that aspect, I don't really know how to feel, other than I'm gonna keep on trying different ways to see how the slide goes, and yeah. But the sliding feature, it's not really it doesn't really feel like a impactful slide. It's more a gradual, um, you're slowly transition into a crouch with very, very, very slight movement. I guess that's the best way to put it. But yeah, speaking of the place you use guns on, in this case the maps. So we're gonna go straight into the maps, and there's three maps that I've played on: Bazaar, Live Fire, and Recharge. They're each own distinct. They each have their own distinctive properties. For example, Live Fire, there's like a hotspot in the center where you have your the main. I don't know what it's called. I think it's the pickup. The OP gun is what I would say, and whereas Bazaar is more like you have one side and then another side, and there's an upper and a lower deck, and you guys fight from across, but also people can go from one side to another and try to flank the enemy team. And then there is Live Fire. No, I already said Live Fire. Recharge? Yeah, Recharge, which is a map that has an upper deck, a lower deck, and obviously a baseline, and the verticality is very interesting. I think the maps, for 3 maps to play in this game mode, which is Arena, I think it's pretty solid. And with the up and coming news that there's apparently 23 maps that are for launch, I'm all for it. And with these 3 maps, I'm definitely excited to see what 23 has to hold. All 23, but I guess it's 20 because including these 3. But hey, 23 overall, pretty good. But I haven't talked about the performance, which now I'm gonna get into the performance, because the performance is hit or miss. I feel like it's smooth. If you want to achieve a 60 FPS experience, I think it does. I have a 1066 gig, and I don't think it's that bad, but I don't think it lives to an expectation where I'm content, because with the news that that this is going to be an esport, with the news that there's going to be like ranked and whatever, and this is a game to have in the long run, a game that's playing the long run game. The performance, maybe is probably just because it's a playtest and its optimization isn't as good, but I would at least want to get 120 FPS on my 1066 gig, which I know is an outdated graphics card. It's like 4 years old, but accessibility to a large audience is extremely important, and I don't know if 60 FPS really cuts it. Then again, this is a playtest, and I have my hopes that they can bring it up to maybe like 120, hopefully like 200 FPS. But yeah, I don't know. But what I have to say is I don't know why, but they leave in like they leave in details that aren't necessarily needed. There's like the textures in the game are a lot more pronounced for a low setting, and all my settings are on low. So I don't really know what it is, but I think it is just has to do with the playtest. But this is the one criticism I have. It's the performance. I've seen streamers who have 3090s also have some small hiccups in FPS, but for the most part, I think the game is really solid. If you take away the performance part, I think there's a lot to like here, and I'm really excited for the future and for the launch of Halo Infinite.